Hello, welcome to Marriage Masterclass with Ask Love Coach. It's always an honor for me to be here because I love to actually, guide couples and singles as well who want to have a more healthy, relationship. On this channel, the goal is not for people to just have relationship for the sake of it, but to have a fulfilling, a long-lasting, healthy relationship. That's what we advocate for. It's very simple. A lot of the things I'm teaching on most of my classes is actually not for you to just be entertained, and that's why I made it in slide form so you can see it as a lesson. I hope you have your marriage book, you have everything you need to take down notes. Actually, I would appreciate if you have a note for this channel so you can write a lot of things down, things that you see or you consider important or valuable. Um, Understand that we're all at different stages in our relationship journeys, but I hope what I'm sharing with you would be valuable at some point. You can also share with people who may need any of the things if you think they do. So we're going to dive right in, but before I dive right in, I would like to say please subscribe to the channel. I believe you'll be seeing this pretty much on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you see this. You can join us on all the platforms. We're on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we're on podcast platforms as well. We're on TikTok. Ask Love Coach is pretty much the name across all the portals or all the platforms. So today's topic, and if you need a love coach as well, you can hire, if you're looking to hire a love coach. My calendar is pretty much empty at the moment, so you can always, no matter when you hear or come across this video, you can always reach out to me. My website is always at the end of the class, but I'm going to just quickly say that as well. It's also in the description of most of my videos. It's www.makemeyourlovecoach.com. I tend to do more virtual or online coaching. So if it's something you would like to consider, no matter your location is not a barrier. So today's topic pretty much is about self-assessment. Self-assessment is the health. You having to check the health of your marriage or your relationship. Just the same way you would with your physical health. Some of us go to the doctors even when we don't feel sick, but just in case, certain things might not manifest itself until it's fully blown, um, and that could be more detrimental. When it festers to the point, it's almost like it's a matter of life and death. But when you do regular checkup, your doctor could, do some blood tests, um, fluid tests, X-rays, whatever it is, and they can see problems before they actually come to fruition or manifest. So that is the same thing you do with your marriage and your relationship. Oftentimes we wait until the marriage is fully broken down or the relationship when it's beyond repairs. And it's like this is just the end of it. So it's like it's a matter of urgency. And in some cases you might not be able to revive it, you might not be able to fix it because it's almost as if it's dead. It's not just broken, but it's dead. So, but when you have like regular checks or assessment, you can easily, just like I described earlier with physical health, you can pinpoint any possible breakdowns of the relationship before it gets to the point when it's beyond repairs. And now we're separating or we are divorcing. Don't wait until it gets to that point because you're not a mind reader. You don't truly know how your partner is feeling at any given time. So have this scheduled in for yourselves. Whatever is best for you. You can do this weekly, you can do this monthly, you can do this bi weekly, quarterly, annually. But having this scheduled and implemented into your relationship and into your marriage would actually save you a lot in the future. Because sometimes Any one of the partners might just be enduring the marriage, looking for exit plan without you knowing, and it will come to you as a shock. Then your heart is broken. Sometimes we are not verbal, we don't have words, we don't have language to our feelings. Then we act out. Maybe we're just dropping hints, and yet it seems as if our partner is not catching it. But again, you have to remember that nobody's an island, nobody's a magician except you are. But um, having a regular self assessment for your marriage is really key. So when it comes to self-assessment, what are you actually checking? Just like with the physical health, since I'm using that analogy, your doctor might be doing x-rays to check your internal organs to see if they're functioning well. They will do blood tests, check your eyesight, check, wherever it is they check, do physical body movement to see that your body is responding, do some sounds around your ear to make sure that your ear is still working fine. They check your teeth to know that your gums, like whatever checks they do, both physical and um, internal checks, pretty much. They're checking, your blood samples, to check if there are any form of, ill diseases somewhere, so they can start treating it. But on this occasion, with self-assessment for couples, you are pretty much checking different areas of your relationship. So how you guys are communicating, do you guys feel fulfilled? As in both of you, you're both going to be asking each other how fulfilled you feel within the relationship. Do you feel seen? Do you feel heard? Do you feel as if your partner is actually paying attention to you when you communicate with them? Do you think there are things you expect for them to do? You are going to take as much as you would like to in terms of your relationship, and both of you will collectively, truly, because this exercise requires high level of honesty. Very important for both of you to be honest. It's not about, if I say what's on my mind, I might be offending my partner or my husband or my wife. That is not the goal here. You're going to do this exercise, being honest, but in a very respectful way. You can't come here with attitude. You can't come here disrupting the peace of the both of you. The goal here should be oneness. The goal here should be, we're working as a team. This is not about me, this is not about you, but it's about us. Because when couples are healthy, especially if they have children or they plan to have children, that will trickle down to how, their children will be affected and seen in the world. I was talking to a friend of mine today about, an incident, I believe in Australia or Austria, I don't remember, but it sounds like one of these two places where somebody was actually, massively killing people. And one of the things she said to me was, this person come from two parents household, so it's almost as if it's unheard of, because people have tendency to think that broken people actually come from one parent household. But what I say to a lot of couples, especially my clients and friends and people within my network, is about the health of the relationship of the couple. If you can co-parent in a more healthy way, as opposed to being in a toxic environment for your children to be damaged, that is even more deadly than being than having a healthy two healthy people who didn't work hard but chose to actually focus on their children in a healthy way, because these children will model what they see. If all they've seen is violence, that's how they're going to react or respond to challenges. Because in this case, I hear the guy, it has something to do with not being able to have a girlfriend. I don't know the story in total, perhaps you know, but that's not the purpose of this. I'm just using this as an example, just to, once again, validate the point I try to share with a lot of my clients, that two parents household is ideal, but not toxic. When two parents are toxic, bringing out a child or children in those environments is deadlier than having two healthy people who decide to. I've seen couples who they were not married, but they have children together. And their children are well taken care of, like phenomenal. They have so much love, even with their new partners involved, all of them. So this child, because on this occasion, I've seen like three different couples, but this particular story I'm telling you, this child, although she's in her 20s now, she kind of have bonus, father and bonus mother, because her mother is gone ahead to be in a healthy relationship and the father the same. And she goes from one family to another, and you won't believe it, they all go out, hang out together, go on holiday together, like they have this strong bond amongst all of them in a very respectful way. And the child is having the best of both parents, even though they've moved on, they're in a different relationship. So that's the maturity that I'm talking about. A lot of people would say, I want my children to be to be under one roof with their parents, but you can see that we're not working. Like, it's so toxic. One thing parents haven't come to terms with is it's not even about what you say to your children. That's like, I would say 10% of it is what resonates with them. Then the 90%, like the chunk of it, is what they see. What is demonstrated to them is the most powerful way for them to learn from you. So if toxicity is normal, that is most likely what you will see at the other end. Although some children might experience toxicity, and they turned out good. But that is a child or children who worked hard and decided to do differently to their parents. So the fact your parents showed up crazy doesn't mean you have to show up crazy. It's in your power to change the narrative. I know I digressed a little bit, but I just wanted to hone on this part on healthy relationship, because that's the purpose of this self-assessment. It's overall satisfaction of the people involved in the relationship. So the way you communicate with one another, do you feel fulfilled and satisfied? Do you think you prefer a different way of communicating with one another? This is an opportunity for you to answer those unanswered questions and figure out the best way to improve. And sometimes you might think certain way is what you need, but when it comes to applying it, sorry, you could get a different result. But this assessment, when it's done regularly, you see that you're both refining yourselves on a day-to-day basis to bring the best versions of yourselves to the relationship. So it could be that you need specific way to be communicated to, and when tested, you feel that although I requested to be spoken to in this way or communicated to in this manner, but I think I have a change of mind. You are going to continue to refine, because it's about continuous improvement. It's about continuous improvement. This conversation you're having will take three parts. How you're currently showing up in the relationship in terms of how you communicate with one another. The second part of it is solutions. So it's not enough that you're just talking about your feelings and what it is, but how you want to move forward to achieve a different result. Like I said, the result might still not be achieved, but there's room for continuous improvement. So based on what you people have figured out, but it has to be mutual solution, mutual interest, not selfish interest on both sides. Well, you have to have your differences, your suggestions, but you need to come to conclusion. You brainstorm and come to conclusion with action items, how you're going to move forward with the list of items you've pointed out. How do you resolve conflict? Communication is tied to how you resolve conflict. It's also tied to emotional connection. But these are different areas and aspects of the relationship you want to actually diagnose to see the health of those areas. And if you feel there is some festering or diseases linked to any of these areas, Like the doctor would do, they will give you medication. So medication is the solution, just so you can hopefully have a different result. In some cases, when a doctor administers or prescribes medication to you and it does not work, they will tell you, let's try another product, another medicine. The same way you will keep refining until you find something that works for you or works for your relationship. So, how do you currently resolve conflict? What would you like to see? What would you like to see? So, once again, you come up with a solution. And not that every single point I've raised will be problematic for the relationship. If it is not a problem, remember to also applaud yourselves for doing great, because some couples know how to really communicate so well, or manage conflict so well. So let's say you're already solid in certain aspects that I will be covering. Do not forget to give yourself, just wink your partner so they know that, great, kudos to us. So your emotional connection is another brilliant area for you to assess. How do you currently feel? Do you feel supported? Do you feel seen? Do you feel valued? Do you feel heard? How are you generally feeling in this relationship, and what would you like to see differently if you're not satisfied? You want to also look at your shared goals. Does it align? Because as you evolve as a person, let's say one of you is really like doing so well career wise, business wise, in terms of your finance, you're just nailing every goal you set for yourself, and the other one is not actually doing the same. Sometimes your career, you may not align on certain levels, and that could build resentment low key because it seems as if I am ambitious and you're not. You also will need to find a middle ground that will work for both of you in a very respectful way. You don't want to use the opportunity to nail the other one to the cross. You want an opportunity where your partner will feel supported. Maybe nothing has ever triggered them to feel ambitious. But and guess what? Both of you don't have to even be ambitious. One person can be ambitious and the other one is just there cheering the other one on, because at the end of the day, you're actually working as one person. Like you're both on the same team. So it's only fair for you to look at your partner's wins as your wins as well, as opposed to you feeling as if you're being oppressed, or as if your partner is over ambitious. Because sometimes I see couples who seem to feel jealous or act jealous towards one another just because one seems to be successful in what they do. You want to talk about it. Like I said, this exercise requires honesty, openness, and hugely respect, because you have to respect one another as you go through this. You are also going to assess the roles and responsibilities of the household within the marriage. Pretty much you're looking to assess how you both feel in terms of the roles. Does one person feel overwhelmed, as if they are carrying the load, all the responsibilities of the household, of the marriage? Do they feel like their back is getting, like they're breaking their back, and the other one is just chilling and enjoying, like on a helicopter ride? How are you showing up in terms of the roles and responsibilities of the household? So again, you're going to talk about how it currently works and what you would like to see differently, and come up with an action plans and how, because at the end of the day, it's about solution. This exercise, the goal of the exercise is pretty much for you to have overall satisfaction in your marriage or in your relationship. You are having a fulfilled, marriage and relationship, or relationship. You're not feeling as if since being married or since being in this relationship, I've lost myself. It's like I'm here helping you to achieve your life purpose, and mine is stunted. It's not even existent. It's as if I'm just here for you and that's all that matters, because you're not even checking on how I'm doing. It's almost as if I'm not serving you, if I'm not doing for you, I'm irrelevant. So I just feel the need to focus so much on you to the point I lost myself. Again, when these things are not addressed, oftentimes couples feel unfulfilled. They feel unfulfilled, and when you're not fulfilled, what happens? Some people will take um they won't want to leave the marriage, of course, because everybody's solution is not to divorce or separate, but they will start misbehaving, they will start stepping out, they will start having a different gig outside of the home, they will start, and you not pouring and nourishing your relationship is not actually helping the relationship to grow. You're not solving any problem. But when you talk about how you truly feel with what's going on in your household or in your marriage or your relationship, it's easy for you to actually address the problem. Like I said, you must come take part in this exercise with clear um, honesty and respect. You can't come here just for the sake of attendance. No, you have to be able to, figure things out in terms of how you feel. Like you have to, it's all about reflection. Another thing is individual growth. So for the fact that we are one since we are in a relationship or in a marriage does not mean that I don't have my self identity or I don't have things I want to achieve as an individual. So you want to still feel fulfilled in terms of your personal needs and desires and goals, wants and needs, whatever that is. You want to see that you're truly growing as an individual, because sometimes some people will say, since I became a parent, since I became a wife, since I became a husband, it's as if my life is turned upside down. And if that is the mindset or the feeling, for this person, most likely they're going to radiate it outside. And people who are single might just think that being in a relationship or in a marriage is more like a bondage. But when people understand that they can still fulfill their individual needs, their personal purposes and goals, as well as the relationship, that is doable, it will be difficult to actually convince people when you constantly feel dejected and worn down, almost as if you're just in regret. Like, how the heck did I get to this point? I was doing well when I was single, but since being in a relationship or marriage, it just feels as if my life, my world has turned upside down. That is not what it should be for anybody who is in a relationship. Two heads, they say, is better than one. So, again, it's all about having these deep conversations, truly assessing, the health of your relationship. There's no compromise, there's no waffling. It's just being direct, being honest, but respectful at the same time. When you are constantly doing this, what do you think will happen for your relationship? You're going to also be checking on your intimacy and your romance. How do you both feel? Do you feel your needs are being met as well? If not, what can you do differently towards achieving, you know, the goals that we set for our intimacy and romance? Your financial management is one aspect, your parenting style, and overall satisfaction. So, financial management pretty much is how you're currently managing your finances in terms of expenditure and your income, your budgeting. Do you feel satisfied or not? What could we do differently? Do we need to be making more money for the household? Who should be responsible for that? Or how do we do this so we can increase our income? Or do we need to reduce our expenditure? Are we overcommitting in terms of our budgeting? Are we like what needs to change? The next point is parenting. So for people who have children, this will be applicable to you, but if not, you need to move to the next final stop. Pretty much your parenting style. So sometimes some of my clients will say things like, "We'll parent differently." That is okay. But if that is affecting your relationship, you need to come to terms with how you want to move forward, with how you discipline, your parenting styles, how you prioritize time with your family. So oftentimes when people get to meet each other, especially if there are no kids involved or they've never been parents, or they are not taking on another person's child, let's say just brand new people, no baggage of some sort, so or children, they might not have context to how the parenting style will show up. Like it's not something most of us like pre-plan until we become a parent. Now it manifests itself. So you give yourself some grace when it comes to this, because sometimes we don't know how we're going to be parenting. It's not often pre-planned. I know some people, they have details of how they are going to be great parents. Like kudos to such people, but not everybody is detailed or very vision based, or yeah, we don't have all have that kind of vision. Sometimes you might have all that mapped out with so much clarity, but do you think you're able to still apply it? Let's say you wanted to have babies and you're just struggling to become a parent. Let's say it took you 10 years, 15 years to birth a child. Do you think you will still have that level of strictness, or certain things you will, however you put it down in your vision board? Some people, they didn't even ask to be a parent, but here they are. They're parents of many children. And it's like happenstance. And they didn't actually envision that. So now they're just winging it. For some, it's like the way they planned it, that's how it worked. They wanted to have baby in 2024, now they have it. They wanted to have this, now they accomplish it. For some, they're fortunate enough to have that, but that's not for everybody. The goal here is that some of us don't have that clarity. We don't have those details of how we're going to truly parent, because it's possible you have medical or health issue that kind of slowed you down from having a child, that you had to wait for years, and now say after 20 years of waiting the child is here. There's a tendency that you'll be so gentle with the child. It's almost as if the child is actually parenting you, because you don't want to offend them. You're just already grateful they are here. So anything the child asks for, it just seems as if everything just went through the window. It's like you're just here looking for some best friend to latch on to. You're more gentle, just put it that way. Whereas another person who, you know, is, I'm just too disciplined that it does not matter whether I look for a child 100 years, here I am, I'm still a parent, disciplined, I'm going to still do it my way. But again, whatever it is you've experienced so far with how this person or you both are experiencing or disciplining or parenting this child, and you see like it's of huge concern to you, this is the time for you to have that kind of conversation and what you would like to see. But now you are given more facts, details of how you want things changed, as opposed to someone who is never been a parent. They've never maybe they envisioned it, they talked about it, they agreed on ways they're gonna do it. But when the child arrived, it's like everything we spoke about is non-existent. So again, you have it in a very compassionate way. You have empathy. You have respect. So it's not about win-win kind of thing. Sorry, it's not about I'm winning kind of thing, but it's a win-win thing. Like both of you are both winning as opposed to individually. Because again, parent, two of you are working in the favor of the child and of the best interest of your relationship. So the goal of this whole exercise is just self-satisfaction, fulfillment in the relationship, because a lot of us have feel so unfulfilled as a result of being married. Some people are so much in regret for their marriage, because some of the things they were promised, was not even it's not even anywhere in sight. Some went into the marriage with a different mindset, but what is on ground, like what they're experiencing on a day to day, is completely different. A lot of things can happen. It could be that you and your husband or your partner are even on the same page, but something else came and distorted, how you envisioned and planned for your amazing marriage or relationship, whatever that looks like. When you have the chance, having self-assessment will actually help you to build, close bond. The goal of this whole thing is truly to feel fulfilled in your marriage and in your relationship, not only in that relationship, but as well as an individual. So the importance of this, when this is done correctly, you will feel a sense of self. You will feel fulfilled. You will feel really satisfied. And if you feel positive about this, it will actually help make a huge impact in your relationship, because you don't feel as if something is really missing. You you know yourself much better. You feel seen, you feel heard, you feel valued, you feel appreciated. You feel a sense of we're moving forward. You feel a sense of we're together. You feel a sense of genuine interest from both parties. You will see that you are able to communicate much better. You're able to resolve your problems or conflicts much better. You're able to strengthen your emotional, your romantic, uh, um, you know, experiences together. Because communication fosters a lot of things. Lack of communication, also fosters its own negative things. You're able to understand each other on a very deeper level in terms of your strengths and your weaknesses. And you're not going to use it against one another, but you're going to hone it. You're going to harness it. You're going to, use it in favor of your relationship as opposed to nail the other person to the cross. Your conflict resolution, like I said, will be top notch. And when those things are happening, you feel really satisfied in your relationship. First and foremost, your relationship cannot be broken by anybody, because you have a roadmap to success. Most couples are not fulfilled just because they are operating as selves, they are operating as individual, they are operating as um they're very selfish. They're very selfish. So it becomes challenging, it becomes difficult, it becomes almost impossible for couples to truly, fulfill not only their individual needs, but the needs of the team, of the family, of your relationship. A lot of people are just as simple as very selfish. They just want to fulfill their own individual needs, because when they want to leave the relationship, it's as if there's no ties. So seeing a healthy, fulfilling relationship, it will require some level of self-assessment. You're holding each other accountable. You're able to, you know, this will promote growth and development, not only as an individual or individuals, but it will help you as a couple. You're constantly growing, you're able to understand each other's needs, and you're evolving. You're evolving, like I said. whatever solution you come up with this month does not mean it's not bound to change next month, because maybe the solution has been tried, tested, and it's still not working. You want to, keep evolving, you keep refining it until you get to the point where you feel fully, satisfied, hopefully. This will actually prevent issues from escalating. Um, I've seen a couple, these are not my clients, by the way, but they're just like couple I know within the community who would say, oh, especially the husband will say, it's important for us to have issues so that it can bring us stronger and make us even better. And I said, be mindful how you think that is how to measure a successful marriage or a healthy marriage. Talking about issues before they become a problem should be the best approach for you to work together in a marriage or relationship. So when you are having these sessions, is a good ground for you to talk about areas you feel dissatisfied in a very calm, respectful way, because oftentimes when you have this built up resentment, you're just waiting to explode. It's like volcano waiting to erupt. So the problem with having a compounded problem or issues is that you might not be able to control it. And some of the issues might have branches, stems, roots, and it might be difficult. It will have layers that it's like it's out of your hand. You see, like when some people say we are divorcing due to irreconcilable issues, or like the issues is too much that we don't even have to pinpoint it to one, issues, because our issue is not just limited to one thing but many things. That is what happens when this is happening. But having a regular check, just like I said with your physical health, you're able to catch the issue before it becomes a problem. Because most problems, I promise you, they are too complex that you cannot solve them. Problems that the couple involves, they are unable to solve themselves. Now they are looking to bring in a third party, family members, to come and talk to the other person for the other person to consider or not consider, giving the relationship another chance. In that situation, most likely these couples might not be working in the best interest of the team, but more or less like we're here to score points. So the more I talk about my experience with you, especially if we're reporting to my family or to your family, or have a third party who maybe one of us happen to know, and now the person is here, it's like they might be biased. So I'm going to magnify a lot of my experiences just so that I might have some sympathy from them. Or I might just come off, I might not have that self-control at this point, because it's almost as if I'm so pissed, especially if you sense any kind of biasness or you feel misunderstood, because the person who you are talking to may not have all the context. But both of you who are dealing with the issue, of course, you know what the truth is. The person you're talking to does not know, but it's up to them whether they want to believe what you're saying or not. So again, having the self-assessment is powerful, because you're able to truly prevent issues from escalating, because when it becomes problems, most likely it's out of your control, and that might lead to the death of the relationship if not properly handled. So the overall assessment pretty much is a powerful tool for couples to truly, work on having a fulfilled relationship, fulfilled life, general satisfaction pretty much. And once you both feel that way, your relationship is almost unbreakable. Like, it's always intriguing when I see people say somebody broke their relationship. I'm always like, no, nobody broke your relationship. Your relationship was already broken. The person who came in and the relationship finally broke was just a facilitator, and people should be thankful to the person who actually facilitated, to stop your pain and aches, your frustration. But a solid relationship cannot be broken. Only death can break the relationship. Because what this does, when I know my needs are being met and my husband's need, they feel their needs are being met, it can only bring us closer. It cannot separate us. But where one person is feel used, debased, abused, overused, overworked, anyone can whisper in that person's ear and the person is cheating. Or if the person is not cheating, they could go become depressed or have some mental health, some internal ailment as a result that will eventually lead to their demise. So relationships are supposed to prolong people, but it looks like a lot of people are more frustrated than happy. That is why this channel was better, just to give people hope once again, to understand that not every relationship, is more like struggle love, but you can have true genuine fulfillment and satisfaction just by virtue of being in relationship or in a marriage. Once again, thank you for staying through to the end. Thank you for taking notes down, and most importantly, thank you for implementing some of the suggestions and tips that is being shared on this platform. It's all about strategies, it's all about hopes, it's all about tools, ideas, information. That's pretty much all we do here. Thank you so much. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Share this platform. Share to people in your network so that we can all learn. And if you have specific questions for me, you can leave that in the comment section. You can email me directly. I believe somewhere on the channel my email is there, or you can just pen something down for me. I try to read comments. Since I haven't got the large audience yet, I try to respond to questions that are very much needed. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.